And this leads us into chapter 6, does it not?
The final chapter.
This
final chapter. You never said anything to me, and you couldn't have said more. Because this chapter is the definition of no one will have seen this coming.
No. Absolutely not. I don't know if you follow any Danganronpa forums, but I checked out a few after this game because I felt like I was out of my mind by the end of this chapter, so I needed some sort of validation from the internet. And yeah, it was just so polarizing, people's opinions about how this game turns out. But anyway, before getting into that, this chapter, Kibo goes nuts.
He goes fighting robots.
Yeah, he goes
Zone of the Ender.
He goes full blown Zone of the Enders on the Existil's ass, because yeah, guess what? All the Monocubs are back. And they are in their Exisils, and they're pretty much playing guard dog at this point, right?
It's a mix of things. Kibo is blowing up the school because he's tired of it.
Yeah.
He gets his antenna, quote unquote, broken during the botched execution of Kaito.
Oh,
and he just decides he's had enough.
Yeah, and that's very important, the fact that it's an antenna, because antennas transmit information back and forth. So anyway, that'll come into play a little later.
Fighting Kibo, like that mecha form with like the jetpack and the Mega Buster. It's so cool.
You must have lost your shit at that point.
I was loving it. Oh my god, I was chewing up the scenery, loving it so much. And they put a lot of they put more animation into that than I feel like they did any of the deaths. Like, it was so cool.
They didn't. Yeah, that was not half-assed in the slightest. Like, they went all out on Kibo's transformation sequence and him going crazy and ballistic, and it was just perfect.
But he gives Shuichi just like 6 hours to solve the final mystery.
Yeah.
Where he's going to blow everything up. This part of the game is kind of intense. Like, them giving you a time limit. No rest time, no time to think. You don't even know what answers you're looking for. You're like, all right, let's go.
So I thought, yeah, so basically, yeah, Kibo's like, yo, either you figure out what's going on here, or this entire place is going to hell by my hands. I thought the time limit was arbitrary. So I took my sweet time for a lot of things.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to answer this. I'm going to talk to everything in this room. Why am I so stupid and bad at things, Eric? Why do you bad?
Well, like, yeah, because, like, it just feels like Danganronpa is not that kind of, like, game that puts on that kind of pressure. Like, during the trials, like, every trial has a time limit, but you never, I don't know about, like, anyone else that plays the game, but, like, I never come close to, like, reaching, like, what, the 15 minutes they give you to solve, like, a non-stop debate.
It doesn't take you the whole 7 minutes for a psych taxi?
Oh, oh God. Yeah, so some of them got pretty gnarly, especially in the later ones. But no, at the end of the day, they were pretty easy. Yeah, so for this, I was like, that time limit was just arbitrary. It's like, yeah, 6 hours. Like, you know, that meter probably goes up like as you I thought it more of a progression meter rather than like an actual timed meter, but then I ran out of time. I was like, oh shit. So yeah. Did you game over too? I gamed over.
I gamed over once. I gamed over once.
I'm glad I did though, because like I'm glad I still got to like take my time and investigate everything and like, you know, see all the sceneries that see all the secret rooms they were introducing at this part of the game.
That was the only part of the game I actually found some hidden Monokumos, actually.
Oh yeah, no, I found a couple in chapter 3 and then a few more here and there, but after that, yeah, things were just getting too intense. Like, nah, I'm not gonna take time to find hidden Monokumas. What did you think of? So basically, the school is being wrecked at this point.
So you get access to all the hidden secret rooms.
Yeah, and one of them is Kokichi's.
Kokichi's lab, which is like a secret, like super secret villain base lab.
Yeah. That was cool, wasn't it?
It's super cool, but man, whenever you go to his room and you find out that he actually just runs a gang of 10 chuckle fucks.
Oh yeah, that's right. No, yeah. So Kokichi, like, his ultimate talent really is being a supreme leader of a bunch of stooges who play harmless practical jokes on civilians.
Which is great, but man, he wasn't a remnant of despair. So who could it be, Will?
Who could the remnant of despair could be?
Could it be Suichi the whole time?
Okay, honestly, weren't you thinking that during the game? It's like, wait a second. First, like,
no, I was thinking Kibo had like a dark program that he was going to activate. Like Monokuma was going to start speaking through Kibo. I was super worried.
Interesting. See, I thought they were going to pull another fast one. It's like, wait a second. They did it with Kaede. What if they're going to do something with Shuichi now? I didn't think that was what was going to happen, but like a part of me did. But what did you think of Kokichi? Not to make this a Kokichi show, because that's essentially what the game becomes. What did you think of his bedroom? When we see, like,
when he's collecting all the crap that everyone's been going through, I'm like, yeah, that looks like something he'd do.
Yeah, it's like,
I like
holy
that
crap.
his blueprints are basically just doodles that he would take to Miyu and say, "Build this for me."
Yeah, like the little kid that he is, because he's such a child inside, which is just another great character aspect of his, because he's so brilliant and a liar and everything. When I saw that, like, that drawing board with like all the characters and like how he's made all these connections between them, like, oh my, like, this kid probably doesn't sleep. Like, this is what he does. Like, when everyone's got their backs turned.
I mean, you're right. I really don't think he sleeps.
No, like, definitely not. Like, oh man, it's just nuts. It's just nuts. But it also, it's weird because it's like, it shows that he's actually a hard worker. Like, you don't do all that stuff without being a hard worker. Like, you can be as brilliant as you want. Like, you know, looking at a character, what's her name from Ultra Despair Girls? Mona?
Mona?
Mona? Is that it?
The green-haired one?
Yeah, the green-haired one.
Yes.
Okay, I thought, was it? Yeah, okay, yeah, Mona. Like, she was brilliant, but she was also very lazy, which is why things didn't, you know, like, turn out the way, Monica, not Mona.
Yeah, Mona for short.
Yeah, sorry, I was just thinking, because, I just remember that scene in the anime where, like, she had her tower and her name was, like, spelt across it. Monica, of course. But yeah, you know, Kokichi, like, the guy's a damn hard worker. Like, he was planning everything. Not everything, but like he was figuring things out just as hard as Shuichi was in terms of detective work.
Unlike one particular ultimate character, Rantaro, the lazy ass. Oh my. I was really kind of disappointed by Rantaro's reveal. So you finally get to go to his lab, and you look at his lab and it's like, oh man, maybe he's like the quiz master, the puzzle solver. Maybe he would have been used to like open up a secret safe somewhere in... And oh no, he's the ultimate survivor?
The ultimate survivor. But wait a second. Doesn't that mean, like, what does it mean to be the ultimate survivor? What, like, how do you become the ultimate survivor?
You win a previous killing game. Which, man, if that's the case, I don't think I ever want to win one.
No.
Winning is losing.
I mean, there is no winning, right? Really. It's just killing game to killing game. At that point. So yeah, that raises a red flag. It's like, wait a second, previous killing game? What's going on here? Though that said, I totally echo your thoughts. When you enter that room, it's like, man, yeah, this kid's totally like the ultimate puzzle solver or something. But it turns out that room is just, I think like that room is just given to the ultimate survivor because there's this gigantic vault that hides a secret. And that is the secret that the ultimate survivor gets, and it's basically it's
basically a map.
It's a map, and isn't it a note to self too?
A brief note. Like he really didn't get the full note until he got the monopad, which he didn't get to get.
Which he didn't. So
Actually, no. Yeah, his monopad came early. Like he got his like motive one like early almost, and that one became the survivor perk.
right.
So it did have that message on there. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Where he basically warned himself that, hey, you've won before, but you gotta win again.
Yeah, you've got to win if you're going to survive. Because his memory was wiped too, along with everyone else's.
But remember that he wanted this. Remember, Will, he asked for this.
He wanted this. So Shuichi, throughout this investigation, also comes across he revisits the classroom, or a classroom, I should say, and discovers this contraption, this machine that has all their information, that has these like memory wipe abilities. And I think, oh wait, hold on, no, it's the machine that programs the flashback devices.
We actually skipped a huge thing in chapter 5 where there's a flashback light that pops up that reveals that everyone was from Hope's Peak Academy, actually.
Oh,
like they were part of the new class, and that's why they were chosen for the Gopher Project, because Naiji was like, all right, y'all 16 have to go do it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to carry our hopes. But then you find this flashback. What is the actual name of those things again? I feel like I've been calling it flashback.
Yeah, you were almost there. I was giving it to you. I'm like, come on.
Thank you. Oh, almost. Like one that can artificially make them, but you get to pick the memories people remember. It's so crazy.
Pick the memories.
Pick them.
Mm-hmm. So it makes you wonder, what else can this program pick? Anyway, are we at the trial at this point? Is that when?
There's one. The one last place they find is the Mother Kuma.
Oh, that's right.
The big AI Monokuma robot that can make a whole bunch of Monokuma babies.
So
along with that, it also rebuilt the cubs and the Nanokumas.
The
little itty bitty surveillance Monokumas.
Yep, the 6th Monocub. So what we forgot to mention all the way back in chapter 1 is that a lot of what sparks the whole thought of, the belief that there's a mastermind is the fact that there's a secret room in the basement library. In chapter 6, we finally get to go into the secret room via a bathroom. The girls' bathroom, specifically, on the first floor.
Of course it would be. I knew that place was dangerous.
So, yeah, anyway, we go in, we find the secret entrance through the girls' bathroom, and we end up in the Mother Kuma's lair. Yeah, we learned that, it can spawn, other Monokubs and Monokumas, through a phrase, or through a word, I believe, and that word is,
give birth.
Give birth.
But only the mastermind saying it will make it happen.
Yes, only the mastermind saying that can make that happen. So it's this when the trial begins.
Yeah, because you find two random pieces of evidence in that room. The survivor perk monopad, and you find a shot put ball with Kaede's jackets like threads on it.
Yeah.
The retrial of the century, Kaede didn't kill Rantaro.
Right. So Shuichi calls for a retrial, and of course Monokuma is for it because he's Monokuma, and he wants the thrill, chills, and kills. And then we revisit the trial, and Shuichi exposes what actually happened in that first trial. Kaede didn't kill Rentaro. Sorry, I'm just torn on this because Kaede's death was truly meaningless.
It was the most meaningless. I like
She's
to imagine...
murdered. She's straight up murdered. Like, that's what this case means.
She is super killed, and, like, it missed. Like, her suit... I wanted to imagine she was feeling really cool. Like, she's like, yeah, this plan's gonna work. I lined up everything perfectly. And then Rentaro's just there and just falls next to him, and he goes, huh. That's weird.
But I'm sure
Should I be concerned? Oh, no. Bludgeon in the back of the head by the true mastermind. The last person I ever would have saw it coming from.
Yes, yeah.
Junko Enoshima!
Well, Junko Enoshima in the form of, and this is where things get crazy, folks, Sumiki.
The ultimate cosplayer.
Yeah.
Cosplays the mind, the heart, the despair.
At this point, this is where things get crazy. because right away the game throws you into this whole... The second they say Danganronpa, like, hey, but this is how Danganronpa goes. I was like...
Junko Enoshima is always the villain.
Yeah, Junko Enoshima is always the villain, first off. But boy, now we can really get into the nitty-gritty of this conversation. And
this is what we've been wanting to talk about the past 2 hours.
Yeah. For me, it's been the past 2 weeks, my friend.
Oh.
Wow. So yeah, it turns out Sumiki is Junko Enoshima, the 53rd. The 53rd.
The 53rd.
And that this whole killing game has actually been a killing game in the form of a reality TV series.
Where all the viewers at home can watch all of the despair live for only the small price of, I assume, free, because everyone's watching it on their phones.
Yeah, and that's teased in the previous, either at the beginning of chapter 6 or like the end of chapter 5. Where we get this random character named Makoto, haha, thanks game.
Thanks game.
Where, yeah, and they're watching something that's like providing entertainment, but also hope, because they believe in these characters who are fighting against despair. What's going on here? I don't know. But at that point, the game pretty much reveals everything to you without revealing everything to you.
Well, it lets you know that all the stuff about them remembering Hope's Peak Academy seems off, because it is off. And Sumiki is transforming into a whole bunch of different characters. Not just Junko. She's becoming Makoto. She's becoming Hayate. She's becoming every character
every
from
character
the
franchise.
From Danganronpa 1 and 2.
Yep. And we see, and I believe they got all the voice actors back to reprise their roles. Yeah, if I remember my trivia correctly, which is damn impressive and just great for, like, man, gotta hand it to this team. Like, they really stick true to Danganronpa.
But Sumiki can't cosplay real people.
Sumiki can't cosplay real people, so that's weird.
It's a lie.
It's all
the entire game.
The entire
is a lie.
Well, what the game is saying is that the entire franchise is a lie. That Danganronpa 1, Danganronpa 2, the anime, Ultra Despair Girls is all a work of fiction.
All made for the entertainment of the masses. But it only got more popular. They had to make a Danganronpa 4, a 5, 6,
I love that
7,
sequence.
8. All of them have such interesting titles. Like The Return of Despair, Hope Rises Again, Monokuma's Revenge. Oh my god. I want to know which one person got to make up all those titles, and I want to give that guy a hug.
It was great.
But the problem is that we saw that. We saw all those titles.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the opening animation.
Yep.
And it scrolls through all the titles up to 52 until it goes to V3.
V3. 53.
We've been playing Danganronpa 53, Killing Harmony, the whole time.
Man.
The fuck. Mind-blowing to the nth degree. I could not even begin to, like, sparse this in my head when it happened.
I still can't even, to be honest. Not until when we just went through everything right now again. Like, everything's just coming back from 2 weeks ago.
Everyone's character was written by the Danganronpa company.
Yep, Team Danganronpa. That's interesting, because that's the name of the production company that made this.
Hey, but don't forget, the publisher, Nipponichi, definitely helped.
Yes.
Oh, they make it... They tell you at the beginning it's production. They basically tell you outright, what you're doing is a work of fiction. What you're doing shouldn't be stolen or distributed online. The characters are happy that they get to be a part of this performance. Mm-hmm. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. Everything tied together. Mm-hmm. So beautifully.
The best mysteries, man. That's always how they play out. When the answer is right in front of you the entire time. And like we were saying in chapter 1, it made sense why the characters are so excited, because in this world, Danganronpa, it's like being on Survivor. Like it's like being on your favorite reality TV show. These characters, Kaede, Shuichi, all of them applied to be on Danganronpa. And in one scene, we get to see their quote-unquote audition tapes. And there they are, bright-eyed and innocent. Ooh, I want to be in Danganronpa because how cool would it be to be the ultimate detective who commits a murder? And it's like... Oh.
I want to be on the show because I have no faith in humanity.
So, a few questions came up. This one might be obvious, but did they, going in to the game, they didn't have their ultimate personalities assigned, right? They got to select their ultimate abilities.
I don't believe they got to select them. I think, so what it is like you actually do, I think, like a physical assessment, and a lot of it is kind of just picked from like your regular abilities. Kind of like a placebo effect where it's mind over matter. Like if Kurumi was just good at cleaning, then, you know, her mind automatically created the form of the ultimate maid.
Interesting. Okay, that would make a lot of sense. So the other question I have, and this is where we start getting into the whole metaverse of things. Sumiki can't cosplay as real people because she breaks out in hives.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? She tried to dress up as Kaede, and she got hives. Yeah, well, I want to talk about that too.
Right? Because I'm confused.
It's inconsistent. She's a liar. Sumugi's a liar. She's a lying, cheating... She doesn't follow the rules. She killed Kaede. Kaede didn't do that. She wasn't the Black End.
Yes. First off, screw the mastermind because they killed Kaede in cold blood, and I hate them for that forever. Also, at one point in the game, there's a bit of a tangent. In one point of the game, they introduce, Kaede may have a twin sister.
That's so stupid. They bring that stuff up, and guess who brings it up? Sumugi.
And like why does she bring it up? Oh, sorry. I thought you...
I want to know. Why did she bring it up, Will?
Because it was a trope from the previous Danganronpas. The fact that Juko Enoshima had a twin sister. And Sumigi's reasoning for reintroducing that trope was that, if it worked once for ratings, it's gonna work again. So they just introduce it for the sakes of introducing it and being like, hey, we're teasing something here. It's gonna get nuts. But really, it has no meaning. Super red herring. And no twin sister for Kaede, which means no hope that Kaede and Shuichi could ever get together.
We have to let some things go, Will. We have to let some things go.
I don't know if I can, man. Anyway,
don't worry, she can live on as a cyber angel ghost.
I don't know, because man, these guys are dead. Like
they're super dead. They are super dead. Well, I have to ask, do you know like Battle Royale?
Yes.
Have you ever seen the movie or read the manga, read the novel?
I know. I've seen the movie.
Okay. Yeah. Good movie. I liked it.
Great movie. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it with dystopian world settings and that humanity needs such a violent out?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But this game turns that on its head because it sort of asks that question. Like, hey, humanity, why do you like watching these characters get killed? And we're saying that from the perspective of Shuichi. Shuichi says that. Why do you guys enjoy this? But then, of course, the audition tape is revealed and it's like, wait, no, I asked for this too. I wanted to be in this game.
So Kibo suddenly gets his upgrade to become the new main character, the Hope android. Oh wait, no, he's actually been receiving votes via Twitter of the audience. He was the audience, what is it?
Literally, the audience's eyes and ears.
Yes, yeah. They could watch it through the eyes of Kibo.
Yep. And when his antenna broke, that's when Sir Kibo realized, wait, something's wrong here. This place isn't real. I'm gonna blow it the hell up. And he just goes to town.
So Kibo goes into final stage mode. He's gonna use Hope to defeat Junko Inoshima and win the game. Oh, but people have to be sacrificed. Well, Kiba will sacrifice himself and Maki will sacrifice herself. But
Yep.
even I was agreeing with Shuichi. I don't like that answer.
Yeah, well, because, and what the game is getting at this point is the fact that if Hope wins, then the game's just going to continue, because that's the way it works. Hope and despair are just in this never-ending conflict with each other. You can't have hope without despair. You can't have despair without hope. And that's what keeps the ratings up. And that's why
people like seeing Hope win.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I like seeing Hope win.
I like
when
seeing
Makoto
Hope
wins and Kirigi lives and
yep. And that's what this game is playing off
and
of.
I'm part of the problem, Will.
Yeah, we're part of the problem because we love seeing that. But because we love seeing that, these characters have to die.
And you can make the argument that, well, they aren't real. But, I mean, I'm sure you feel it too. When you play games, you empathize. You really feel what the character feels. And it feels rough. Like, you can imagine. Mm-hmm. But you feel bad when that stuff happens.
Case in point, Kaede.
Case in point, Kaede. Chiaki. It's everyone. It just feels terrible. I don't care about the first girl from Danganronpa 1. Nah, she was twisted.
Wait, which one? Who we did?
The Ultimate Idol.
Sayaka? Oh no.
Yeah, Sayaka, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the fandom defends her a little too much.
Do they? Man, I want to ask what's wrong with them. But anyway, yeah, no, I don't miss her.
There could have been something special there.
I can't even like. So it's you make the argument. All right, well, it's not real. It starts off as it's just anime. It's just video games.
Mm-hmm.
In their world, it gets to the point where they have to escalate it so much that they take real life people and put them in these scenarios, and they wipe their memories. They make them the characters. The Exazools, all that's technology, Kibo, it's real in that world. And
right.
They are just like forced into this killing. Oh, just so that people can have like an aggressive output for like, I guess, the evils of mankind. It's so nuts.
Twisted. It's so twisted. And the game really puts you in the ringer. Like, it totally pulls a I don't want to say because that might be a spoiler for another game. But like, it gives you a game over at one point and says you got the bad ending, booting you to the main menu.
Would you like to save? And it's like, no, I don't want to save this progress. This progress is terrible.
Yep.
This is not the ending I want.
Yep, exactly. This is not the ending I want. But Shuichi is going to make sure it's the ending you're going to damn well get. Because his goal at this point is to shut down Danganronpa and say, no, you know what? I'm going to give you motherfuckers the most unsatisfying ending for the battle of hope and despair that you're going to walk out of this game feeling so unsatisfied that Danganronpa stops, and so does the suffering of these characters.
So when you have to perjury the hope bullet to a despair bullet, loved it so much.
It's like, man, this game. Yeah.
Good.
And boy, are we nearing the end? Because the end is not definitive at all. Like,
the end is, so everyone bets their lives on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Don't vote. Just don't vote.
Nope.
No one votes, then I mean, you can't pick a blackened.
Yep, exactly.
And everyone's thinking like, well, Kibo has to follow the will of the audience.
Mm-hmm.
But Suichi, he reaches out, he pleads, he does his rhythm game final battle versus the voices of humanity, which was really cool because it's like got the chains as like spider webs. And
yeah,
man, you could tell he's pleading. He's trying to get people to like, look beyond yourself. Look at what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't entertainment. This is cruel. This is monstrous. This is wrong.
Yep.
And, man.
And then he wins.
And then, yeah, no one votes, and the game ends. So, and then they say, Kibo, just go and blow everything up.
Yeah.
Kibo's, well, I was going to do that anyway, but you said no, so no.
But now we know that you're doing it for good reason. Yeah. Kibo says, fuck it. Well, they all do, actually. And say, just blow this up.
And they blow up the stadium. And what's that Jim Carrey movie where, like, the guy's, like, being filmed his whole life?
Shoot. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking when I was playing this game. What's it called now? The Truman Show.
The Truman Show, yes.
Yeah.
Very, very Truman Show style. He just he blows up in the Truman Show, I don't remember a robot blowing up the entire stage, but I mean, you know.
But this is Danganronpa.
It could have happened. I could have just missed. It could have been off screen. But Kibo sacrifices himself to destroy the stage. Monokumo waves goodbye as he's crushed
and Sumigi.
Beneath the school. And Sumigi, yeah, she gives up as well. Well, I'm sure she's going to be fired anyway, so what's the point?
Yeah, who is Sumigi?
She's a fan that became a writer. She was one of those girls that wrote the fan fiction and sent it to the studio, and they're like, you know what? This girl gets it. She's got ideas. That one fan. You wanted to be that fan that gets to write for the show? That's her. And now you realize, wow, that's actually not good.
Was she in every Killing Game?
Probably from 45 on, I'd bet.
Interesting. Okay, because
you can't start having adults play high school kids forever, Will.
Well, but she's the ultimate cosplayer, so she could pass off as someone younger.
But she can't dress as real people. But she can dress as real people. So what really is real? Is actually the whole Killing Game just a lie?
Yeah.
Because guess who survives? Shuichi, Maki, and Himiko.
But are they real, Zarek? Or are they're
real to me.
Too?
You know what? And it asks the question, can fiction change the world? Yeah, you know what? I believe fiction should change the world. Because guess what doesn't change the world anymore, Will? Non-fiction.
The real world. Yeah.
People don't learn from history anymore. People, argue and have their crazy ideas, and they just aren't,
Yeah.
This world is weird and messed up, and sometimes you just need crazy, fake characters that have to struggle and work to survive and learn and grow, and you just need that to kind of just keep you going.
Out of all the messages that came out of that game, that I think was the most powerful and long lasting. The fact that fiction is important. I think Stan Lee said something along those lines too. The fact that as a kid or something, he grew up and people would look down on, him being a comic book person. But then he realized, no, being an entertainer is just as important as, other jobs out there. Because, without entertainment, then how are we supposed to function as human beings? How are we supposed to have our escape from the world so that we can go back into the world and fix it for the better? So, anyway, yeah, that game.
But yeah, that's the ending. And you know what? I liked the ending. It's out of left field. It's crazy. It's Kojima levels of wow. It's so fourth wall breaking almost. But I feel like it's necessary. I think it's a message that I think people need to hear, especially whenever they ask for more of something good, when they don't think about the consequences of what's involved in that good thing.
It was very smartly executed, this game. And, when asking the question, is Shuichi and the other 16 of them real? I think the question is the point. It's you're not supposed to have an answer to that. Sort of the ending to Inception, if you've seen that. But you're sort of not... The question that the movie asks you at the end of the movie is sort of the point of the movie. Yeah, so... Yeah, same thing with this. I think we're supposed to... the question, are they real or not, is the point of the game.
I mean, it's hard to say. Frankly, I think if they are real, they're better people than who they were going into it.
Yeah, because they were, after 53 seasons of Danganronpa, these kids have been brainwashed into thinking they want to be a part of it. And then, of course, through the killing game, it's like, no, wait, this is insanity. What are we doing? Yeah, let's get the hell out of here.
Man, it's nuts.
Yeah.
I want it to be the end. Like, honestly, I really would have been happy if at the end of Hope's Peak would have been the end of Danganronpa.
Yeah, so, okay, talking about, like, the series as a whole now, the future of the series, how do you feel about this game and how it's positioned the rest of the franchise? Because this sort of says to the fans, hey, everything you loved about Danganronpa, it was all fiction. Like, it's not real.
I mean, it's a decent reminder for us, I think. What I feel like the creator's also trying to say is that do you really want more of the same thing? Do you really want to see just more people suffer for that one glimmer of like overcoming adversity? Like we like things because like of how they make us feel in the conclusions, but I think a lot of times we kind of gloss over the journey as much. We look at the results of the journey, and we kind of like don't think about the route there because sometimes it can be a little like overwhelming. Or also that the way there is also kind of like badly written and you just kind of gloss over it.
That's rather profound, my friend. But yeah, that's initially, I'm not going to lie to you, I was a little miffed at that ending because to me, that was betraying my devotion for Danganronpa because I too would like look at characters like Makoto Naegi and Kirigiri and Hajime and Chiaki and be like, I love these characters so much. Like to me, they were very real in my mind. But yeah, this game, after like a day after beating V3, I thought, wait, but that's the point of V3, to make you remember that this is still a work of fiction. At the end of the day.
But it's also still real. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't mind that this game took place in a world where the first 3 Danganronpa things were just entertainment. Because it doesn't stop the fact that Danganronpa 1, 2, and 3 were real. Like, they did happen for those characters. That world did exist in a way.
Yeah.
And this almost preys on the idea that the idea of them were so strong that people became obsessed with it. And that in itself is an amazing like story to look at. In Marvel, very often the characters that exist in their universe, people will come in every now and then, or they'll see themselves outside the universe into like ours, and be like, oh well, our stories just come out as comics over there or as movies. Like we are to them in existence. That's really just a form of entertainment and growth. Mm-hmm. But for those people in those stories, all that stuff is real.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's sort of what you said before about, the world just becoming so enamored with this killing game as a form of entertainment is still very much in line with Danganronpa's universal themes that they've been playing off of since the first game, where the world is just brainwashed into one way of thinking or another. And that's what incites these events from happening. So yeah, kudos to them for still sticking with the core themes of Danganronpa, even through this incredibly meta journey that they end on.
That final chapter is such a hard turn, the hardest turn at the last minute.
Yeah, it's harsh, it's unexpected, but it's
I wouldn't begrudge anyone if they didn't like it, because I think you're right. I think for fans, for people that, really like invest themselves in the series, it's almost a slap in the face.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. It's literally saying to you, hey, everything that you love, it's not real. You know that, right? Like, it's fiction. And man, in a world that we live in where there are such passionate fandoms to the point where, fans do treat, certain media properties as real life.
Almost a little too real lately.
Almost a little too real. Yeah, like this. Oh boy, there's so much that can be said about V3. Like, first off, it's a really grounding way to bring people back into reality. But yeah, being a Danganronpa fan, at first I felt that slap in the face. I'm like, man, did you just tell me everything I've fallen in love with for the past I don't know how long Danganronpa, like what, 5, 6, 7 years now. That's just all been fake and it's a simulation. But a few hours after playing the game, after putting V3 down, I was like, yeah, you're not wrong. I don't know if I hate you for it, but you're not wrong.
It's up to many grounds of interpretation, but I feel like that kind of ending is definitely one that only that game could have pulled off so well.
Yes, and only with the history of the series behind it already.
Right.
Like, wow. When you brought up Kojima earlier, like, yeah, this is one of those things. Like, for instance, like Metal Gear Solid, like what's an example? 2. Yeah. That's an example of a series of a story that could have only spawned out of the miraculous history of the Metal Gear series.
Right.
Yeah, and the fact that things just lined up so perfectly for Kojima, and continue to do so with 3, 4, and 5. Same with V3. Like, this could have only been pulled off with how well the previous games were done and executed. So, yeah, kudos to the team. Holy crap.
But yeah, that's Danganronpa V3. Will, do you have any closing comments? Like it has been a journey, and thank you for putting up with my random tweets about the progress I was making.
I love them at every single
I'm sorry
step.
I made you wait.
No. I love them at every single step, Eric, because I was able to live through the game through
vicariously experiencing it again.
Exactly. Like, that's why I bought the art book too, just because like it's in Japanese, so I can't read anything. But like just to go through the art and like. Yeah, again, like vicariously live through the experience of V3, because I think in terms of final thoughts, I think this is my favorite Danganronpa from a gameplay perspective, from the characters, from the cases and the trials and the investigations and how tight they were, how the logic was executed. Like, man, coming from a history of like playing so many Phoenix Wright games, I appreciate when a game knows how to execute a good mystery with strong logic, and Danganronpa, ever since the first game, has done it so well, and V3, I think, does it the best with their mechanics and how everything progresses. What are your final... I have one more question for you after that, but what are your final thoughts on the game?
Probably the best cast of characters, hands down. I think that they gave it everything that they've tried to do in the previous games. This one does so much better, from like character interactions and relationships and the cases. Yeah, no, I feel like these are definitely the best cases too. All of them felt super, super fresh.
Yeah. This is the first Danganronpa that's made me want to go back to build up, I was going to say confidants, social links, relationships with the other characters. Just because, like, yeah, those relationships were so well fleshed out. Every interaction you had with them, and the backstory you would get from characters when you gave them a gift that they loved.
I haven't turned on the game since I beat it, so I haven't actually taken a look at the post-game content.
There is quite a lot of it. I looked it up online.
I've heard.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of post-game content and some alternate universe stuff that goes on, as Danganronpa does. But yeah, what a damn solid game. It's but if you're really gonna experience this game, and I don't think anyone who's listening to this podcast hasn't experienced all of Danganronpa yet. If not, what are you doing here?
Why'd you make it through all 6 parts?
Yeah, first off,
7 parts.
Have a cookie on us, internet cookie. But yeah, what are you doing? Go back to the other Danganronpas and experience them. Yeah, but you can't experience Danganronpa V3 for what it is until you've experienced every single aspect of the franchise previous.
Yeah, that'd be like trying to play Metal Gear Solid 4 before all of them.
Yeah, because 5 you could probably get into without having to.
5's a game. 5's a game in of itself on its own. 3 you could get on. 2 would be weird. 2 would be weird. Yeah, you just wouldn't really get a lot of the inside stuff they do. But 4 would be 4 is probably the best example comparison for V3. But yeah, damn solid game, great cast. So my last question for you is what's the future of Danganronpa at this point? Is this it? Like, is this actually it? Is that... I hope, but it's hard to tell. Like, especially when it comes to games, I don't know who owns Danganronpa. I don't know if it's the creator that gets full control or if it's a studio. A lot of times something will grow out of the control of its original origin. And I wonder if that's also something that is a consideration when this game's being made. What it takes me back to is an Indie Creates interview when they were making Mega Man Zero. So when they made the first one, it was great, made a whole bunch of money, so then they got commissioned to make a 2 and 3. And then they got commissioned to make a 4, and they're like, we have to stop this. We can't let this continue. So they end 4 in a way that really has no continuation.
Interesting. I need to go back to those games.
So, I don't know. There's always the possibility, and you could remake Danganronpa into something different. Like, it doesn't have to be this. But at the same time, do we need more? And I don't think we do now, and I don't think we need any more for a while, but there may be a part in history where it comes up where a game like Danganronpa will need to be made.
Yeah, like the way V3 ends is just so definitive, which is weird to say because it sort of isn't like the actual way the game ends. But what I'm trying to say is what the game represents by the end, by the final chapter. That in and of itself is a definitive message, and I think a great way to end Danganronpa as a series. Like, what else could you do from here? Like, yeah, maybe
cooking game.
No, not before our dancing all night game.
Cooking fighting game.
Okay.
With dancing minigame special attacks.
Oh, okay. That's acceptable. But yeah, outside of like those spin-offs, like, I don't know. What if an Ultra Despair Girls 2 that was teased in like chapter 1 comes to fruition? I don't know.
I want it to play like Call of Duty. I don't want it to be like a third-person shooter. I want it to actually just be Call of Duty with Monokumas and robots and all that stuff.
But whatever game comes,
let's meta narrative every game now. Let's jump sharks, jumping over sharks, jumping into whales, only so we can pet the dolphin inside.
Yeah, and then the next Danganronpa game is going to be like, oh, what happens when games get too meta like this? Oh, they actually become real. So all of this was real and it wasn't fiction like we said in V3. What? And just spin the whole thing again.
I wouldn't put it past them.
No, honestly, I wouldn't either. I'm happy with this being the final Danganronpa game, period. And the final, not even that, the final Danganronpa property, period. Because I think this is, it's just such a definitive ending. Like, what else do you need to do? Anything else that comes after this, I think will defeat the purpose of this game. Will defeat what Shuichi stood for.
Oh, man. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Great
Thank
game.
you, Will, for going down this journey with me. I was super glad when we first met to know that you liked Danganronpa.
Oh, no, ditto, my friend. Like, this is... Oh, God. Being able to experience this game with someone, I think, was such a big treat. Because in the past, it's always like... Danganronpa is not a huge mainstream game. Like, it's definitely gotten bigger over the years, and it definitely has a very, very established fandom. But like, it's not one of those. It's not one of those games that like everyone plays, like Mario Odyssey when that comes out, and stuff. So yeah, no, I think part of the fun was actually experiencing it with someone else, and who's just as big a fan and passionate about not only this game, but this series. So yeah, no, this was a great time. And man, if this is the final installment of the series, then this was a great way to send it off. So yeah, and thank you everyone for listening. This podcast is going to be about 3 hours long.
It'll be broken up. But the playlist will be 3 hours long.
Yes, yeah, the playlist will be 3 hours long total. So thank you for joining in. Yeah, if anyone has any comments, like, please let us know, because we are very...
Let us know what y'all thought about the ending, and if we're wrong about anything, feel free to, like, mention, because, you know, I like attention. I'm vain, and I don't care.
Oh, well, yeah, thanks for joining us, folks, and have yourselves a good, despairful night. Filled with hope.
And